Remember when supercars meant compromising everything for performance? Well, Acura is about to change that conversation entirely. The 2027 NSX isn't just another iteration, it's a complete reimagining that has Ferrari, Porsche, and McLaren engineers losing sleep. And after spending considerable time analyzing what Honda's performance division has created here, I understand why. This isn't about lap times or horsepower wars. It's about something far more disruptive, making the supercar actually livable without sacrificing what makes it super. Let me explain why this Japanese approach might just render the traditional European supercar formula obsolete. The front fascia represents a masterclass in functional aerodynamics disguised as artistry. Acura's designers have abandoned the aggressive, overwrought styling that's plagued modern supercars. Instead, you're looking at clean, purposeful lines that channel air with mathematical precision. The LED headlights sit low and wide, but notice how they're integrated into active aero ducts. These aren't static vents for show. They adjust based on speed and cooling demands. The hood features subtle venting that relieves underhood pressure without resorting to the boy racer aesthetic that, frankly, most of us have outgrown. What strikes me most is the restraint. In an era where every supercar tries to outscream its competitor, this front end whispers confidence rather than shouting insecurity. The rear treatment is where Acura's engineering philosophy becomes crystal clear. That integrated spoiler isn't just there for aesthetics. It's an active element that deploys based on actual aerodynamic need, not driver ego. The taillights echo the NSX heritage without being slavishly retro, and I appreciate that maturity. The diffuser design is aggressive where it matters, managing airflow, but integrated so seamlessly, you'd never call it garish. Here's my observation after years of reviewing supercars. The truly advanced ones don't need to advertise their capabilities. This rear design embodies that principle. It's sophisticated enough for a business dinner, purposeful enough for a track day. Step inside, and you'll immediately notice what's missing: the overwhelming chaos that defines most modern supercar cockpits. The dashboard architecture prioritizes actual usability over Instagram appeal. The digital instrument cluster is configurable, but not distracting. Controls fall naturally to hand, positioned where 40 years of Honda ergonomics research says they should be. What impresses me is the material quality. This isn't trying to mimic Italian leather excess. It's genuinely premium Japanese craftsmanship, which, if we're honest, often ages better. The center stack integrates technology without looking like a smartphone exploded across the interior. For those of us who actually drive our cars, rather than just collect them, this approach is refreshingly rational. Here's where Acura might have just solved supercar ownership's biggest compromise. These seats provide genuine support for spirited driving. Lateral bolstering that actually works, while remaining comfortable enough for daily use. I've driven supercars, where 15 minutes leads you questioning your life choices. These seats suggest you could actually drive from Los Angeles to San Francisco without requiring a chiropractor. The passenger seat gets equal attention to the driver's position, which matters if you actually want someone to enjoy riding along. The rear visibility is surprisingly good for the segment, another practical touch that European rivals dismiss as unimportant. The infotainment system represents a philosophical departure from the industry trend of stuffing every possible feature into increasingly complex interfaces. Acura's approach here is mature. Give drivers what they actually use, executed flawlessly, rather than 100 features they'll never touch. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration is seamless. The sound system, developed in partnership with ELS Studio, delivers reference-quality audio without the weight penalty of traditional premium systems. Navigation integrates real-time traffic and charging station data, critical for the hybrid powertrain. My assessment: this is technology designed by people who actually drive, not just people who sell. The hybrid powertrain deserves serious discussion because it fundamentally changes the supercar equation. We're looking at a twin-turbocharged V6 paired with 3 electric motors, 1 for the rear wheels, 2 for the fronts. Total system output approaches 700 horsepower. But here's what matters more: the torque vectoring capability. Those front electric motors can independently drive each wheel, creating handling dynamics that would be impossible with traditional mechanical systems. This isn't hybrid technology for fuel economy optics. This is hybrid technology for performance advantages. The battery positioning contributes to a lower center of gravity than the previous generation. Regenerative braking isn't just an efficiency play, it's integrated into the overall chassis dynamic system. In my analysis, This represents the biggest advancement in supercar technology since active aerodynamics. Now, I haven't driven this concept yet, but analyzing the engineering specifications tells a compelling story. The Sport Hybrid SHA-to-B system promises 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. But that number misses the point entirely. What this powertrain delivers is accessible performance. Thrust available at any speed, in any gear, without the lag or drama that characterizes traditional supercar powertrains. The chassis incorporates lessons learned from a decade of NSX GT3 racing, which means real-world track validation, not just computer simulations. The adaptive dampers can genuinely handle both daily driving and track duty. I've seen Honda's implementation in other vehicles, and they don't compromise on either end. My professional opinion: this car will be faster in real-world conditions than cars with higher power numbers, simply because drivers can actually access its performance without fear. Here's the conversation rivals are terrified to have. Acura is expected to price this around $170,000. Let that sink in. For the cost of a well-optioned Porsche 911 Turbo, you're getting legitimate supercar performance with actual daily usability. Ferrari's hybrid offerings start at $300,000. McLaren's? Even higher. Acura isn't trying to out-exclusive the Europeans. They're making them irrelevant for anyone who actually drives. This is the culmination of Honda's performance philosophy: extract maximum capability from thoughtful engineering, rather than expensive materials and exclusivity marketing. Will it hold value like a Ferrari? Probably not. But here's my perspective after decades in this industry. If you're buying a car primarily as an investment, you're missing the entire point of driving. The 2027 NSX represents something potentially revolutionary. A supercar designed for enthusiasts who've outgrown needing their car to be a status symbol. It's for those of us who want the performance without the pretense, the capability without the compromise. If that's not enough to panic the establishment, I don't know what would be.